Government is addressing gender-based violence. President Cyril Ramaphosa announced the summit on Women's Day following a total shutdown march in August this year. Now, violence against women and children has again made headlines throughout the country this year. Our reporter Masego Rahlaga joins us live from the event in Centurion. Masego, good morning to you. So the figures are not looking good. I heard you speaking to one of the officials there saying that 1 in 5 women are abused in this country. What is the summit meant to achieve?
Good morning, Xoli. Well, this summit is expected to achieve some sort of ways to try and minimize the number of gender-based violence crimes that we have in South Africa. I'm not sure if you heard that entire conversation with Commissioner Nthabiseng Moleko, where she told me actually that South Africa has the highest gender-based violence crime rate in the world and in the continent, with some of the statistics there. It's quite scary, Xoli. For instance, when Stats SA released their figures earlier this year around June, they were actually saying 53% hike in less than 24 months, Xoli. In less than 2 years, 53% hike in the number of women who are killed. Most of the time, Xoli, what the statistics have found is that the women are killed or abused by their husbands, their boyfriends, or someone that they really trust and think that they love, or that person loves them. But the person that I do have now is a person who survived one of those incidents. She was married a couple of years ago. For many years, she told me actually earlier this morning that she was married for many years. She was abused by her husband. She had 2 children. She didn't know how to come out of that relationship, and it took her very long to eventually actually do it. Her name is Tebogo Sefane. Thank you so much, Ms. Sefane, for joining us here live on ENCA. You were telling me earlier how you didn't know how to get out of that relationship. What did you eventually do? What made you actually eventually take that decision?
I was abused to a point where by now I realized I'm actually losing myself. The time that I decided to move out, I was brutally beaten and I couldn't do anything. That's when I realized that it's either my kids will be orphans or I'm going to be crippled. So it's the time now that I take a decision that now I'm moving out or my kids will be orphans. That's the courage that I had through my kids that I had to move out.
Ma, you were also telling me that you had 2 children. One of them is actually a boy. Your firstborn is a boy. What is it as a mother that you're teaching him so that he doesn't become, unfortunately it sounds very bad, so that he doesn't become like his father? What type of things are you teaching your son to try and make sure that he doesn't grow up thinking that women should be beaten up and should be abused?
The unfortunate part is that we stay in those relationships with kids thinking that we're doing it for them, only to realize later that the more you stay with their son in the situation like that, you're actually teaching him that it's okay to live, for women to live like that and for a man to do that to women. So I thank God that my husband, my kids understand that, especially the son, he understands that he needs to love women and respect them at a very young age. As young as he is now, he needs to respect, the respect needs to start with the sisters. And now he knows that women are something that is treasured and women are something that is a glass. So I'm amazed the way everything changed. I thank God to the man that I'm married to, Rodney Setlwane. He's the man who taught my son. That thing had actually demoralized my son. He was even struggling at school because of the abuse that he went through. I had to take him to a special school because his mind was affected by the abuse. So he's only getting it now, that what is a man actually. So he's being taught now, like now he's starting from being a baby, that this is how you treat women, this is how you treat your sisters. So it's actually a long process. So I can say to women who are in marriages and stay in there, abusive marriages or abusive relationships, staying there for the sake of kids, you're actually killing them instead of building them, because what they learn is what we live in the house. So if we live with abuse, they learn abuse and they become to be a grown abusers. So I can say that my son is now a man. He knows how to love women, he knows how to look after his sisters. He has changed. He had so much anger. So I realized that this anger is coming from, he knew that when you talk to a woman, you just say whatever, you push them around you, because that's what he grew up seeing in the house. So now he learned that that was not life. Life is actually loving another human being. I'm teaching him, as parents, we are teaching him that actually you love any human being, whether women, whether men, even in the, because gender abuse, it also in the working environment, so it goes everywhere.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Hlani. Well, there you have it, Xoli. She is able now to actually rectify what happened to her years ago by teaching her son, along with her husband now, she married a second time, teaching her son that what he saw and what he witnessed during the times that she was married to his father, that was not right and that he should be different.
Safo Ratlaga live for us in Centurion at the start of this gender-based violence summit that is starting there today. Very, very interesting thoughts indeed from the person that she was interviewing there.